I love you. These are perhaps the three most powerful words in any human language. They are the foundation of our deepest bonds, the subject of our greatest art, and the aspiration at the heart of our most profound longings. But have you ever paused, in a moment of quiet, unflinching honesty, to ask yourself what you truly mean when you say them? Are you expressing a profound act of giving, a celebration of another's being? Or are you, perhaps unknowingly, voicing a desperate primal cry, "I need you"? Welcome to Existential Psychology Insights. If you are compelled to look beyond the surface of human experience and question the very foundations of your life, I invite you to subscribe and join our journey of inquiry. Today we are navigating one of the most critical and often uncomfortable distinctions in all of psychology and philosophy: the line between love and need. This is not a mere semantic game. Understanding this difference can be the key to unlocking genuinely fulfilling relationships and liberating ourselves from cycles of anxiety, dependency, and disappointment. Let's begin by defining what we might call need love. This is not love in its truest sense, but rather an attachment born out of a deficit, an inner emptiness, a void that we desperately seek to have another person fill. The person driven by need love does not see their partner as a whole, separate individual, but as a function, a utility. They are a source of validation to bolster a fragile self-esteem. They are a distraction from the terror of loneliness and existential isolation. They are a project to fix, giving one a sense of purpose. They are a rock to cling to, providing a sense of stability that is lacking within. The language of this need-based attachment often mimics the language of love, which is what makes it so confusing. It can be passionate, intense, and all-consuming. But beneath the surface, it is driven by fear. The central unspoken terror of need love is, "Without you, I am nothing. Without you, I cannot survive." This fear breeds a host of toxic dynamics. It leads to jealousy and possessiveness because the partner is not a person to be respected, but a resource to be guarded. It leads to a constant draining demand for reassurance because the inner sense of worth is so fragile that it requires continuous external validation. It leads to a profound inability to tolerate solitude because being alone means confronting the very emptiness that the relationship was designed to conceal. From an existential perspective, this fusion with another person is often an escape from the burden of freedom and responsibility. Instead of undertaking the difficult work of building a solid sense of self, of creating one's own meaning, and of confronting one's own existential anxieties, the individual seeks to dissolve their identity into another's. They become half of a whole, finding a false sense of completion by clinging to their partner. This is an act of profound inauthenticity, a betrayal of one's own potential to become a complete and self-sufficient individual. So, if that is need, what then is true, mature love? The philosopher and psychoanalyst Erich Fromm, in his masterpiece The Art of Loving, provided one of the most powerful distinctions. He argued that immature, need-based love says, "I love you because I need you." In contrast, mature, authentic love says, "I need you because I love you." The difference is monumental. Mature love from this philosophical and psychological standpoint is not a feeling that passively happens to us. It is an action, a practice, a conscious choice. It is an activity, not an effect. It is primarily an act of giving, not receiving. This giving is not a sacrifice in the sense of giving something up. It is the highest expression of one's own vitality. One gives of their joy, their interest, their understanding, their humor, their sadness, all the expressions of their living whole self. Crucially, this form of love can only arise from a position of inner strength and independence. It is a connection between two individuals who are already whole. Neither is looking to the other to complete them or to save them from their own existence. They choose to share their journey, to enrich each other's lives, and to support each other's individual growth, but their fundamental sense of self-worth does not depend on the relationship. Love in this sense is an affirmation of the other's being, a profound care for their life and their growth for their own sake. It is a love that liberates rather than confines. It says, I want you to be the most authentic, flourishing version of yourself, even if that means you grow in ways that challenge me. The path from a life dominated by need to one capable of genuine love is the ultimate journey of personal growth. It requires the courageous work of becoming a whole person in your own right. This journey begins with cultivating self-love. And let us be clear, this is not narcissism. It is a deep, compassionate acceptance of oneself, a commitment to one's own well-being and growth, and the development of an inner source of validation. It is learning to provide for yourself the security and worthiness you have been seeking from others. This necessarily involves the difficult but essential task of embracing solitude. You must learn to be alone without being lonely. You must be willing to sit in the quiet and confront the void you have been running from. You must face your anxieties, explore your own thoughts, discover your own passions, and learn to enjoy your own company. It is in the fertile ground of solitude that a strong, independent self can truly take root. This leads to what might be the ultimate paradox of love. To be capable of true, profound connection with another, you must first be capable of being profoundly alone. When you no longer need another person for your survival or your sense of self, you are finally free to love them for who they are. Your giving is no longer a transaction designed to ensure they don't leave. Your connection is no longer a desperate clinging born of fear. It becomes a conscious, joyous choice made by two sovereign individuals who have decided that their separate journeys are made richer by walking them, for a time, together. So, I invite you to reflect. Look at the key relationships in your life. Are they characterized by freedom, growth, and a celebration of each other's individuality? Or are they marked by anxiety, control, and a fear of being left alone? This is not a question for easy judgment, but for honest, compassionate inquiry. Because by understanding the difference between love and need, we give ourselves the opportunity to heal our dependencies, to build our inner strength, and to finally become capable of the kind of love that does not take but gives, that does not confine but liberates, that does not fill a void but shares a fullness.